Hello, it's another Mr. Scott's Maths video here. So today we're going to solve simultaneous equations by elimination. Now, what does that mean? Well, simultaneous, in maths at least, means true at the same time. Okay? And well, I've drawn a graph here. So if we have two equations, each of those can be represented by a straight line graph, and there's only one place where they meet. Only one place where both of these equations are true at the same time. So when we're doing simultaneous equations, basically what we're trying to do is identify where this point is. Now, we can do them by drawing graphs, but today I'm going to talk about solving these equations by using algebra. And the method I'm using is elimination. So we need to know, what does the word eliminate mean? Well, it means to get rid of. So both of these equations have got x and y in them. And that means, well, this equation is true everywhere along its length. I can come up with any number of different amounts of x and y that add together to make 10. I could have 2 and 8, 10 and 0, 9.5 and 0.5, -1 and 11. There's no limit to the number of values that make this true. But once I bring this in as well, that's also got no limit to where it could be true. So neither of these equations can be solved on their own. But when we bring them together, we get rid of one of the letters and we find out where the lines meet. Okay, and the word variable, that's just what we use for standing in place of the numbers. Okay, now that will allow us to answer questions like this one. If I buy 3 cups of coffee and 2 slices of cake and it costs me £11, and you buy 5 cups of coffee and 3 slices of cake and it costs you £17.75, how much are we paying for a slice of cake? How much are we paying for a cup of coffee? Now, I'm not going to answer this yet. We'll come back to this question, but the techniques I'm going to show you will allow you to answer these sorts of questions. Okay, so what we've got then is an equation or a pair of equations just using x and y, and we're going to set about solving these equations. All right, and we'll come to the worded thing later. So I want to get rid of one of the letters, x or y. Which one am I going to get rid of? Well, if you look at these, what you'll notice is that line is very much the same as this line. It's just got an extra 2x in it. So what that does is that allows me to find out the value of x. Okay, by changing the number of x's and not changing the number of y's, I can find out how big x is. All right, so that means I'm going to be ignoring y to start with. Okay, so which variable am I going to eliminate? I'm going to eliminate y. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the one with the same coefficient. We've talked about coefficients before. That's the number in front of the letter. Okay, so 3 for y, 4 in this equation for x, and 2 here. So I'm going to get rid of y. How am I going to do that? Well, my preferred approach is always to write out what it is that I'm using from the question. And I'm going to notice the difference between these two equations. Okay, so I notice that this equation has got 2x more than this one. It's got the same amount of y, and that's worth 4. So what I'm doing then is I'm getting rid of y. How? I'm going to notice that where y has got the same letter, same number and sign in front of it, I'm going to do same signs, subtract. So what I'm doing is 4x take away 2x is 2x, 3y take away 3y is nothing, not write anything, 23 take away 19 is 4. So 2x is 4. Now, if 2x is 4, x is 2. So I know what value x has. Okay. Once I've done that, I can find everything else out. So substitute. So x equals 2 into either of these equations, whichever one looks easier to you. Doesn't look a lot of difference in them. To me, I'm going to go with the second one. 2x add 3y equals 19. So instead of it being 2x, it's 2 times 2, which is 4. Add 3y is 19. Okay, and that's the kind of equation we've solved lots of times before. All right, what does this say in English? There's a number that when you multiply it by 3 and add 4 to it, you get 19. Right? What was the last thing that happened? The add 4. So let's get rid of that. How do you get rid of add 4? You take away 4 from both sides. So 3y is 15. What does that say? That says a number times by 3 equals 15. I don't want the number times 3. I want the number. So get rid of the times by 3. How? By dividing by 3 on both sides. So my number then is 5. Okay. Then, how do I know that I'm right? Well, I do a check. All right. And what I do is I use the equation that I haven't used already. 4x add 3y. This is 4 times 2 add 3 times 5. That's 8 add 15, which is 23. Tells me I'm correct. So the nice thing about these questions is when I get to the end, I know that whether I'm right or wrong. I don't need to worry about them anymore. Okay. One last thing I would do is I've got one answer here, another answer here. I just bring them together at the end. Make it easier for anybody reading my work to see what I've done. Okay, so x is 2 and y is 5. All right. So what am I doing? I'm eliminating one variable, the variable that has the same coefficient in both equations. How? Well, I spot that it's got the same sign, and so if I subtract, well, that says subject, that should be subtract. If I subtract 3y, take away 3y, I don't have any y's anymore. All right. Once I've got that, replace x by 2 in one of the equations and you can find out what y is. Check it by substituting into the other equation. Right, here is one for you to have a go at. Pause the video while you have a go and then we'll see how you go on. Okay, so let's try this. 8x add 3y is 31. 2x add 3y is 19. I'm going to do same signs, subtract to get rid of the y's. So 8x take away 2x is 6x, 3y take away 3y is nothing, 31 take away 19 is 12. 6x is 12. X then is 2. I'm going to substitute, and I'm just going to write the word sub this time. X equals 2 into, and I'm going to go for the second equation again because it looks easier, not by much, but it is a little bit easier. So 2x add 3y is 19, so that means 4 add 3y is 19. Get 3y on its own. How? By taking away the 4 that's added on. 3y then is 15. I want y on its own. How? By dividing by 3 on both sides. Y is 5. Check that that's right. So the first equation, 8x add 3y becomes 8 times 2 add 3 times 5. That's 16, add 15, and that is 31. I am correct. So x is 2 and y is 5. Great. So that's that sorted. What though if the signs are not the same? What if I have this? Okay, well, let's write it down. 4x take away 3y is 23, and 2x add 3y is 19. Not the same signs subtract. This time signs are different. Signs in front of y are different. So I'm not going to subtract. So take a wild guess. We're going to add. What happens if we add these equations? 4x add 2x is 6x. Negative 3y add 3y is nothing. And 23 add 19 is 42. If you get to this stage and you've still got both x and y, you have gone wrong. The whole purpose of this line is to know about just one variable. Happens to be x here, could have been y. Okay, if these numbers were the same, then we'd be eliminating x. Right, 6x is 42. 6 times something is 42. That something is 7. Okay, now what? Same as before. Substitute x equals 7 into, go for the easier one. That's the one with all the positives, no negatives. So 2x add 3y is 19. What does that give us? Well, 2 lots of 7 is 14. So 14 add 3y is 19. A number times by 3 and add 14 makes 19. Well, I want that number on its own. Okay, so get rid of the add 14. How? By subtracting 14 from both sides. And I get 5. Okay. 3y equals 5. A number times 3 equals 5. I don't want the times by 3. Get rid of times by 3 by dividing by 3 on both sides. What does that give me? It gives me y equals 5 divided by 3. 5/3. Or, if you prefer, 1 and 2/3. All right, now what? Now I'm going to substitute. No, not. I've got my answer, so I'm going to check by using the equation I haven't used before. So 4x take away 3y. That gives me 4 times 7 take away 3 times 1 and 2/3. So that's 28 take away. Now we know that our answer was 5/3, and we got that by doing 5 divided by 3. So if we times by 3, we're going to get back to the 5. 28 take away 5, and that is 23. And that is what it was supposed to be. So we are correct. Sum it up. X is 7, y is 1 and 2/3. Don't go for a decimal. 1 and 2/3. There we go. Now, they will quite often give us answers like this in the questions in the exam, right? The answers will turn out to be something like this, so that we can't guess. Yeah, well, the chances of you guessing that the answer to one of the answers to this question is 1 and 2/3, not very high, I would say. So we do need the algebraic method here. Right, you have a go at this one. Pause the video and I'll have a look at it with you in just a moment or two. Okay then, let's have a look at this. So 8x add 3y is 31. 2x take away 3y is 19. So I look at my equations, I see that y is the variable that has the same coefficient in both equations. So I'm going to get rid of y. I'm going to eliminate y. I then look at the signs. They are different, so I will not be subtracting. It's not same sign subtract, it's add then. So I'm going to add these two equations together. It gives me 8x add 2x is 10x, 3y add negative 3y is nothing, and 31 add 19 is 50. 10 times a number is 50. That number must be 5. I'm going to substitute, replace x by 5 in whichever looks like the easier equation. I'm going for the top one because it has no negatives in it. I'm more likely to make a mistake when there are negatives. Right, so I've got 8x, that's 8 times 5, that is 40. Add 3y makes 31. My number times by 3 and add 40 makes 31. I don't want the add 40, get rid of it. Subtract 40 on both sides. I get 3y is 31 take away 40. Well, 40 take away 31 is 9. Small take away look big, gives me a negative answer. So 3y is negative 9. My number times by 3 is negative 9. I don't want it multiplied by 3. Get rid of the times by 3 by dividing by 3. Negative 9 divided by 3. Well, 9 divided by 3 is 3. Negative divided by positive is negative. So I've got my two answers. X is 5, y is negative 3. I want to check that I'm right. Okay, it's well worth doing the check. You don't get any marks for it, but it does tell you if you've lost marks. Right, I'm now going to use the second equation. So 2x take away 3y. That's going to be 2 times 5, take away 3 times negative 3. 2 times 5 is 10. negative 3 times negative 3. Well, 3 times 3 is 9. Negative times negative is positive. I get 10 add 9, and that is 19. That is what I was hoping it would be. So I am correct. X is equal to 5. Y is equal to negative 3. And it could well be that in the exam you have one or more negative answers. Right, so quick recap of what we've done. We get rid of one variable, find out what the other variable is worth. We then use that variable in one of the equations, and that will allow us to find out what the variable we got rid of was. Okay, quite a long video that one. Do have got some questions? Let me know how you get on, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.